The second winning series is a unique sports program that probes into the often controversial world of professional and amateur sports. Sports View Today.
Everybody, welcome to another edition of Sports View. My name is Ron Cameron. Bob Page is partying like only Bob Page could do at the Rose Bowl in California, so he's no longer here. Well, not here at least this week. Besides, we talk hockey and baseball. Get him out of there. We talked hockey with Johnny Wilson last show. We don't need Bob Page for that. He's proven his stupidity in hockey. And we were going to do a phone hookup with Bob, but we felt it's bad enough at 10 o'clock in the morning. He looks like he's under the weather a little bit. But can you imagine in California, after being in the bar all night, what he's like at 7 o'clock in the morning? I said, no, thank you. We don't need you. So coming down to give us a hand during the show today is Bud Lynch.
I think that Page is going to ask for equal time because there's no way when you go out for New Year's Day to watch a game is he going to be misbehaving New Year's Eve.
I guarantee he misbehaves every other day of the year, Bud, so New Year's Eve is just added on.
Are you his agent?
I keep him in line, and I don't do too good of a job at that. Let me say the sponsors, after I tell you that former Tiger Roy Cullenbine is a guest on the show. This is in Bud Lynch's era, so that's why Bud's coming down to Colts' show. You saw Roy play a lot, not me. You and Bob Page did. Our sponsors, of course, Al Dietrich Oldsmobile, where the runway ends, the deals begin at the Pontiac-Waterford area and I-59 just east of the Pontiac Airport. TCOM Pagers, if you're a busy corporate executive like I am, as publisher of Sports Fans Journal, TCOM Pagers is for you. Maxie's Main Street, located, as Bob Page likes to say, in the heart of downtown Royal Oak on Main Street. Dino's Pizza with their extra. 2 great pizzas, 1 low price, and free delivery. Montea's Restaurant for fine Italian and American cuisine and liquor with the meal. It's right on the corner of West Warren and Vinoy in Garden City. Real nice spot. The Sting, located in the old Playboy Club, right on James Cousins, which is a service drive on the Lodge Freeway at Greenfield. And Dugan's Irish Pub in Royal Oak on Woodward. And Pro-Am Sports Systems, where their schedule's available in Sports Fans Journal. If you want to see the Red Wings, the Pistons, or the Tigers, dial this number, 583-7600. And, of course, Sports Fans Journal, that is going very, very strong. If you'd like to subscribe, you can call this number 24 hours a day for information, 350-3530. This is issue number, 17 now? It's getting bigger and better, and I hope you enjoy it. Sports Fans Journal, it's 1988, as you see on there. Former Tiger Roy Cullenbine, and we're going to talk to him in just a little bit, is a guest from the old timers. Definitely remember this guy, and Bud, of course, being that, you remember him, of course. But I want to talk about you, Bud Lynch, now, the fact that you're the longtime voice of the Red Wings, and you started your career when?
What's your career?
I don't know what to say to that.
Actually,
the sportscasting career. And back when Ty Cobb was playing for the Tigers, I remember seeing an old picture of you interviewing Ty Cobb, of course.
Thanks a lot. Actually, my career started in Hamilton, Ontario, and then I came down to the border before the war, before World War II.
And that's when it all began, at the border.
And that's CKLW and the Mutual Network. And then after the service, I came back after working in London, England, Montreal.
What year did you start your sportscasting career?
I did some senior hockey in high school in 1936-37 in Hamilton, Ontario, when Toe Blake was playing for the Hamilton Seniors. And Lynch was fooling around as a juvenile alleged hockey player. But anyway...
you were a quarterback, and you were a good one, I was told.
In high school. I actually went into a radio station to be interviewed by Percy LeSueur, who is a Hall of Famer now, of course, and Percy was a great goalkeeper in his day. He interviewed the 2 quarterbacks, one from the Catholic school, Lynch, and one from the other school, Delta. And while we were sitting in the lobby waiting to be interviewed in the sports show for the big game on Armistice Day, the 11th of November in Hamilton, Ontario, they were auditioning for summer help at the radio station. So the 2 of us for a lark, went in and took the audition. We both got jobs that next summer working.
And look, ever since you've been in Detroit, you did the human side of sports. And
Well, Ty Tyson brought me over here, of course.
Oh, that is a way back.
When TV started, 1949-50. And I've been doing junior Spitfire in Windsor Spitfires. And then Paul Williams did 2 games on hockey when it first came into TV, and then he wanted to do baseball for the Global Company, and hockey was Strohs and Jack Adams, so there's a one-armed guy from Windsor that's working over here now, and he's just taken his American citizenship out. Give him a shot. So tried to hold on to the job for 36 years.
And you've been around, and you're not, even though you're involved with the Red Wings. What is your title now?
Actually, I
Where's your title?
retired 2 years ago, and the LH family and Jim Lights and Bill Jameson, the PR, they asked me to hang around, so I went to training camp.
Give me a hand a little bit, if you would.
That's the word. So I went to training camp, and then they asked me, well, you're at every game with your wife. Why don't you come up in the press box and do the PA? So they got me back on a microphone for all the home games, and I'm enjoying it.
And you love it. And, you know, the greatest hockey player you ever saw in your time. Johnny Wilson, last show, said Gordie Howe.
Well, I'd have to say Gordie automatically, because I was one of the privileged ones to cover his whole career home and away. From the time I came into the fold in 1949, he was there a year before, but I saw his whole career in the National Hockey League home and away.
Why is he the greatest?
Did everything, never changed in life, was the most respectful athlete. In fact, he brushed off on some other great athletes after. The Bobby Halls, the Bobby Orrs. Remember what Gordie Howe did. He would hang around after a game and autograph for those little kids.
I see. Yes.
And
little kids like me back then, too.
He had one remark, say please and say thank you. And that part of life never changed. Gordie's still the same.
Oh, he'll never change.
He liked the sport of hockey so much that he always worried what he would do when he was through playing. And I think that augurs well, that his whole life was hockey, and great.
You've read the whole shot over here, Bud. It has to get you a little upset with what's happened in the organization in the last several years, up till now, I guess.
Well, everybody has their own opinion what happens in every sports organization. Some people are privy to find out. I think the average fan is just willing to say, well, I hope they do something to make it worthwhile for the paying customers. And the word pride has to come into it. If you put on a jersey, be at the Pistons,
Did they lose the pride
Lions,
for many years?
Sure. Every organization does somehow. And they're all transplantees when they come here to play for any team.
Are they coming back? The Red Wings on the way back in your mind?
The foundation is there.
It's going to take a while, though, isn't it?
Well, it took a while to sell people that Joe Louis is a great place to see hockey. So it's going to take a little while. It's not going to happen in 1 year or 2 years, but under Jimmy DeMilano and certainly Mike Ilitch is giving the wherewithal, and Jock Demers with his handling of veterans and youth, there's progress, and the fans are going to have some low moments again.
Well, they're going to have them this year, I think, too. I know it's a 500 team in my mind. Okay, Roy Cullenbine is here, former Tiger from way back when. That's why Bud Lynch is here hosting the show. We can talk the old baseball days, with Roy Cullenbine coming up after this time out.
What's the problem, lady? Where's your husband?
I don't need this.
You don't. Let Uncle Al's Army come through for you.
Yes, ma'am. No problem. Coffee?
Uncle Al's highly trained Army attacks general and major repairs on your private vehicle in a personal way. Tons.
No, thank you.
Uncle Al, crushing the competition and high-cost service with the respect you deserve.
Yeah! L. Dietrich, Oldsmobile, GMC Truck in Waterford.
If you're a sports fan, you should subscribe to this paper, Sports Fans Journal. Our monthly columnists include Ernie Harwell, George Kell, Denny McClain, Pass's own Jim Northrup, Dick Vitale, Don Cherry, George Allen, Bob Feller, Eli Zared, Bill Frieder, Governor Blanchard, and many more. Just $15 a year. Sports Fans Journal is also available at local newsstands and bookstores. For more information, call 350-3530. Sports Fans Journal, a must for all sports fans.
I'm sorry, she's out of the office for the day, and there's no way to contact her.
With a pager from TCOM, you could contact her anytime.
I know it's an emergency, but it's out of the building now. May I call you later?
With Motorola pagers from TCOM, you can deal with emergencies now.
I'm sorry, our delivery man is on call right now. We won't be able to help you till tomorrow.
Hi, my name is Fred Wetzel with TCOM Paging. If these problems seem familiar to you, then you need a TCOM pager. You'd be surprised how affordable they are. Probably wonder how you've done without one. Give us a call at 559-6826.
Sorry, Mr. President. I ran right over as soon as you called.
I told you never to say I ran.
Excuse me, sir.
Leo, what's so great about this Maxie's restaurant in Royal Oak?
Well, Mr. President,
there are many reasons why people come to Maxie's. Great food, superb atmosphere. We have classics on video every Tuesday and Thursday night with Elmar. Every Sunday night, we feature the Maxie Jam with some of the best entertainers this side of the Mississippi. And this is where you'll find some of the celebrities that you've heard of, like Nick Arama, my good friend from WOMC Radio, and...
Well, what do you mean you don't have prunes?
We're back on Sports View with Roy Cullenbine, longtime outfielder in the major leagues, and got some nice stories to tell, I'm sure, of what happened. Played for the Tigers. You know, the Tigers have never bring players back after they were traded or gotten rid of, but you came back. But that's a little bit different situation. And I want you to tell Bud and I about that, and then the listeners and the viewers out there and all that about what happened, because as many years, you spent about 10 years in the big leagues, but you were part of the big deal in baseball. And what was it, 1940, when Judge Landis named 93 players or whatever it was free agents. So why don't you tell the people about that? So you got the big bucks. You're one of the first big buck players.
Well, the way I got the big bucks, 30,000 was a big buck.
Ooh, back then, yes.
And, yeah, built a home, bought a couple cars, and put half of it in the bank.
So what exactly happened on that for the people that don't know out there?
Well, Detroit, not Detroit, but they farmed me out to another club, which wasn't associated with the Detroit organization. And then they brought me back, you know. Then,
what year was this?
Oh, that's 39.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then Judge Landis got a hold of that, and that's he. You know how the tough guy he was.
Ooh, what is he ever?
And you know what he did to Standard Oil. But anyway, he made me a free agent, and a lot of fellows from the minor leagues, and Benny McCoy, a free agent,
yes,
who was also in the big leagues at the time.
Yes. And then you ended up going wherever you pleased.
Oh,
and
yeah.
what happened? Who signed you, and what did you get? You mentioned 30,000.
Oh, yeah. Well, I signed up with the Brooklyn Dodgers, Leo DeRocher and McPhail. And that was quite an experience.
I bet that was with a Leo DeRocher, I can imagine.
Yes.
You had a nice career in the big leagues. You played with so many different teams. You played with about 9 of them, didn't you?
Yeah, I got shuffled around pretty good.
And you ended up back in Detroit. And, of course, if you look a close-up of his hand here, you'll see the 1945 World Championship. The Tigers won in 45. Here we are. We going to get it?
Took a long time to get that one.
When you say a long time to get it, what do you mean by that?
Well, the last, it was over 10 years before they previously won when they 35. Beat the Cubs.
Oh, I see what you're talking about, yeah.
Because they played the Cardinals in 34 and the Cubs in 35. And then this was the next one.
Yeah, and you did a pretty good career in the big leagues.
You very happy.
Drove in almost 600 runs, if I recollect right. And,
I was a base-on-ball hitter. I still hold the record for the most base-on-balls for the Tigers, 137 in one season.
Very patient hitter.
And 22 consecutive, which is a record for both leagues.
22 consecutive times you got a base on balls?
No, games.
Oh, 22 consecutive games. I was going to say 22 straight times.
Here's a good point, too, Roy. A lot of the old-timers may remember the name Johnny Mize.
Oh, yes.
And I interviewed him one time. I'll never forget. He took his shirt off to show me. He would step into ball. He got hit many times at the plate, but he would step into them. And he had black and blue marks from his wrist up to his armpit.
When
you got winged a few times.
Oh, yeah. Well, they used to throw at us. You know, you hit a home run, the next time you come up, down you went.
And it was you knew it, though, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, it seems like some of these pansies at the plate now, they want to charge the mound and there's just pitchers inside.
Well, I know a few of the pitchers, you charge them out, they say, come right on.
Yeah. Your ball players have changed today, haven't they? You're still pretty close to the action, see what's going on, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I keep in touch.
What do you think of a guy like, for example, Kirk Gibson? You see him playing the outfield.
I know. I can't explain him. Honest.
And when you say you can't explain him,
well, I mean, he's got such a potential.
Oh.
You know, he could have probably been a better football player.
Yeah.
But I mean, the best thing that Sparky did was move up from right field to left field.
He stinks in left field too, though, of course.
Well, I just mean he didn't have the arm to get that guy going from first to third. You know.
When you look at a guy like Gibson with all that talent, you shake your head, don't you?
Well, no, I just wonder what something's got to make him go.
Do you think that the best thing for all concerned is to trade Kirk Gibson right now?
Excuse, I don't like to say. Probably would be. I mean, I think. Well, I was more or less traded for guys, you know. But I mean,
I'll bring up another name. This might be along with Roy's thinking too. Dick Wakefield, one of the greats, personal friend of Roy's.
Sure was.
His career was great, good and bad times, but he was still a super athlete that performed to the best of his ability most of the time.
Are the ball players today, Roy, hungry enough?
I don't know what money they're getting today.
There's no reason to be hungry with a long-term contract.
You know, they got a hell of an appetite.
Let's talk about your days in baseball.
All right.
And, the fact that you were a free agent and things like that, and after you spent, 38 and 39 with the Tigers, of course, and then you're a free agent, and then that just set the ball rolling. And today, if they're free agents, of course, $30,000, they get that per game.
Oh, yeah.
The lawyer gets it for the first meeting.
Yeah. But overall...
we didn't have anybody representing us.
But you played in an era where you had some great ball clubs. Of course, you passed the Yankees, the mid-'30s when the Yankees had the great ball clubs. But you saw some great ball players in your days and things like that. Although you didn't see Ted Williams, you saw him, but not play. You didn't play against.
Sure.
You did play.
Yeah.
Let's see. You would. Yeah, that's right.
We all saw Ted Williams.
Right, all right. Yeah.
The worst thing I ever had to do was hold a man on first base and Ted Williams hitting. I tried to get behind the runner. You know, I didn't want him to hit it down there. He hit it like a shot.
Roy, the greatest hitter that ever lived, Roy, was that Ted Williams?
See, you go back to a guy like Cobb now. He had a lifetime average 365, but it was a different ball. And to me, the thing that makes a big difference in baseball is the parks. They're not like a football field. They're all the same size. So that's and Ted had the toughest right field to hit it. And it's like DiMaggio. I remember catching 2 balls off of him, one day, one the next. It went over 900 feet. But I played him
450.
But what I did, I played him way out past second base. If he hit it down the line, it's 310. It's a home run anyway. So I played him way out in left center. And I caught it and bounced off the fence, catch one the next day, and then he kept running right straight out to... He said, "What the are you doing out there?" I says, "Joe, 310, 458, hit it down the line."
You mentioned Ted Williams. It's my understanding that if Ted Williams would ever played for the Tigers, he'd had to set the home run record. If he'd have played, and without the WAR, when he went out...
Well, that second time he went in, that was terrible.
That's why I consider him the great, in my opinion, by far the best hitter I ever saw. And I think he did 8, 9, and maybe even 1,000 home runs if he'd have played his whole career here and not interrupted nowhere, right?
Well, I believe you.
When we used to watch Ted Williams at Tiger Stadium, he had a happy faculty at the old Briggs Park, too. When he got into that on-deck circle, he was working the pitcher long before he got to the plate, and he was scaring a lot of pitchers.
Oh, yeah.
He's unbelievable.
Concentration.
He couldn't get up there fast enough, you know.
We'll come back and talk with more with Roy Cullenbine, former Tiger outfielder, and my co-host Bud Lynch after this. Time out. Gordy Howe's the greatest hockey player that ever lived.
You should know. You grew up with him. But how can you beat Gretzky? He could do so many more things than Howe ever could.
He had more points than anybody in history. It's a tougher era, and he fought his own battles.
We can at least agree on one thing. Dino's Pizza's #1.
Because of the extra, 2 great pizzas, 1 low price.
No, because they deliver free, and that means I don't have to be seen in public at a restaurant.
24 locations in Metro Detroit.
And they've been in business 30 years, longer than any pizza chain in town.
Dino's Pizza, tops in Detroit. Try the most exquisite, authentic, delicious Italian food ever. The Amantea has a complete variety of Italian and American cuisine. Homemade lasagna, mostaccioli, spaghetti, and veal parmesan. Fantastic American favorites, too, such as steak, ribs, chops, poultry, and seafood. After dinner, have a refreshing drink and an Italian dessert. At Amantea's, only the freshest ingredients are used in all their entrees, homemade soups, pastas, and sauces. So experience the best in Italian and American cuisine at a very reasonable price. Amantea, a place you can be proud to bring your friends, family, and business associates.
We're back on Sports View with Roy Cullenbine, former star outfielder for the Tigers and many other teams in baseball back in the 30s to the late 40s. You played in the big leagues. You were born in Nashville, Tennessee. Why'd you go into baseball? Country music is right there for you.
I was only there for 3 weeks. My folks were traveling people.
Oh, they just happened to stop off and see the Grand Ole Opry, and then all of a sudden you're born and you say, "Hey, enough of this. Let's take off."
Here's a good point when you got Roy Cullenbine on, Ron, and the fans must realize this. He's active in the baseball, the Tiger Old Timers group, has been for years, but on top of that, he is known as one of the better athlete golfers in the area. Now, hockey's got some good golfers, but Roy himself...
Like you, Bud Lynch.
Well, I fool around.
You don't get enough right-handed.
I don't get enough strokes from some of you guys either. But Roy has played just about every type of competitive golf around the country, everywhere.
Yeah, except professional.
Well, that's why you were a top amateur.
Yep.
So golfing is what keeps you occupied today then, right?
Oh, I love to play golf. I had a one handicap at one time.
You know what that means, Cameron? He's a pro.
In other words, don't screw with him. Now, what did you do when you left baseball in, 46, 47?
Well, I went into a potato chip business. Another friend of mine who was an ex-ball player from Detroit, Augie Bergamo, was with the Cardinals, and we started our own potato chip company here, and we ran it, and we got it going pretty good and sold it.
What potato chip was that?
Cullenbine Bergamo Foods Incorporated.
Oh, yeah, and so now you've just lived the retirement. You were a manufacturer's rep, though, after that, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. Still am.
Still are?
Yep.
And still golfing, so you still keep quite active?
Augie was a pretty good golfer, too.
Oh, yeah. Good left-hand golf.
You see the ball players today, and all that stuff. The conditions of ball and the ball players today. If you had to do it all again, you wish you were coming up today?
Oh, I'd like to be coming up tomorrow. Really, if I could.
With that kind of money that it is. But you enjoyed it more back then, didn't you, Roy?
I enjoyed it, yep. That was when I was 5, 6 years old, I wanted to be a big league ball player. I was lucky I got to be one.
So you came out in the area, and you considered you made some pretty good money back then. $30,000 back in those years.
Yeah, gee,
my God.
Well,
were you the highest paid player in baseball then in 30?
No.
40?
No.
Well, let's face it. Who?
I mean, not for a salary. That was a bonus that I got for signing.
Okay, that was a bonus then. Okay.
Yeah.
And he reinvested wisely.
Yes, he did. Okay, now you see these players today and the multi-year contracts. What's going on? Do you like baseball today, the fun of it, like you did back when you played, Roy?
I think it's a lot more commercial.
And you don't like that?
Well, I mean, I believe in a man getting what he deserves and so forth. Because I'll tell you, back and Bud will tell you this, that the ball players, they stepped on it pretty good. I mean, the owners was, that was the last say. You didn't have no alternative, and that was it.
Agents or anything
now
like that.
you got, you have somebody to arbitrate.
Yeah, and that's ridiculous.
Hockey went through the same thing about the same time.
How could you arbitrate Babe Ruth?
Unbelievable. Ty Cobb for that matter.
He made $80,000 70 years ago. Just think of that. How could they pay him today? And he was worth everything because he drew people.
Filled the ballpark.
When you see the baseball today, do you think it's livelier like I do? When you see a guy break his bat and still hit home runs?
Yeah. If he breaks his bat and hits a home run, something's going on.
and the artificial turf and things like that. What do you?
No, I didn't like that.
So in other words, you think baseball's...
Well, it's all right if it's the only game where your surface isn't uniform. You've got some got grass, some got that artificial turf.
What change would you make in baseball today if you were running it, Roy?
Well, I'd try to make everything equal.
All the ballparks?
Yeah, that's right. Like every football field's the
same.
same.
In the free agency, get rid of it?
Oh, no.
That's here to
My
stay.
heart's...
Well, of course it would happen to you.
No, but I mean, the reason I say that is because they could do with what they wanted with you at that time.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And they could put you in Hoboken and then move you here, and all around.
Do you ever think, Roy, there'd be incentive pay in baseball? Years ago they did that in hockey.
Performance?
Yes.
I don't think the ball players would go for that. Maybe a guy like Williams, how would you do that with him?
How about a pitcher that, say, wins 30 games by August the 15th? His contract cannot be opened according to baseball rules. He can't get a bonus, allegedly.
He allegedly gets it anyway, though, Bud.
I'm sure they do.
Well, I know a couple times that after the season that I got, they gave me some money. And I mean, but it should be uniform. You can't say, well, if you hit 340 or if you because a guy could hit 280 and be a much more valuable player to a team.
Right? The guy in the bullpen, too, just has to do his job, which is important.
Well, like I said, how could you pay Babe Ruth? I had two idols, Babe Ruth and Charlie Gehringer, and I was lucky enough to play with Charlie.
Was he right up there as far as the greatest ball player you ever saw?
Oh, yeah.
All around?
All around.
Was he the best?
He's the best second baseman I ever seen.
Dedicated, too.
I mean, hitting and fielding.
He did everything. Did it so gracefully, too, did he?
That's right.
The greatest all-around player you ever saw?
I'd say he's just as good as any I ever seen, yes.
Even Ruth and Cobb?
Well, Ruth, you know why? I lean towards Ruth because Ruth was a great pitcher.
Yeah.
And a great hitter, good outfielder. There's nothing he couldn't do.
There's a pretty good ball player in Roy's day, Pete Gray, too, you know.
The one-arm guy. I wonder why Bud would bring that up. Why would Bud bring that up? Would you say?
I autographed different parties.
He chased me back to the fence one day. I had to catch it off the wall.
Unbelievable.
One arm.
St. Louis Browns, yeah.
Back with more and closing it out with former Tiger outfielder Roy Cullenbine after this.
Nothing yet. But baby, it just ain't nothing yet. There's something you never forget. You know, you just ain't nothing yet. You just ain't. Gotta go to school.
That was me, John Rouser, not too many years ago, as a defensive back with the Pittsburgh Steelers, after my playing career at the University of Michigan had ended. Now I'm proud to be co-owner of The Sting, Detroit's most dynamic nightclub. We've got continuous live DJs, continuous videos, and live entertainment every weekend. But you don't have to disco. The Sting is also a great after-work place to meet other professional people who frequent our lounge. And don't forget, football fans, all the big games, Sundays and Mondays, are on our widescreen TV.
In just 2.5 years, Dugan's Irish Pub has become one of the hottest spots on the North Woodward Strip. Come on inside and I'll tell you why. You start out with a famous Big Chief burger, an institution in Royal Oak since 1954. Dugan's has the cheapest drinks in Metro Detroit. Specials every night, not to mention the best-looking waitresses serving those drinks. We've got oldies on the jukebox all the time and a great casual atmosphere to meet your friends. So come on out to Dugan's on Woodward, just north of 13 Mile, and have a bite of nostalgia.
We're back closing it out with former Tiger outfielding great Roy Cullenbine. Roy, you played in the World Series in '42 and the World Championship Tigers in '45. How are those ball clubs compared with today's teams, or with today's Tiger teams, for that matter?
Well, I believe they could compare with. We had the pitching.
Were they better than the Tigers of today in your mind?
I think we were deeper in the pitching. See, the pitching is altogether different now. You know, they make so many changes. You know, everything now. If you don't have good relief, you're dead.
One more thing I noticed today in baseball, you don't have the 90, 100 mile an hour fastballs like you did, like the Bob Fellers when you played, things like that, did you?
Well, there wasn't many Bob Fellers, I'll tell you.
Was he the greatest pitcher you ever saw?
He's the best I ever hit at.
In your playing day, Roy, were you players together? Well, you traveled a different way than they do today. Were you together more
of a family?
Knowing each other?
Well, we traveled on a train, you know what I mean?
You know, that's the secret right there, togetherness.
And your most memorable moment in baseball, Roy?
Well, winning the World Series.
In '45 with
Yes, winning the World Series. That's, I guess, every guy's aim when he first gets in the big leagues. First to get there and then to be a World Series champion.
Thanks a lot. And then, but the next year you had your best year, 46 with the Tigers, didn't you?
Yeah.
Something like 313, something like that?
338.
338, see that? I want to thank you, Roy Cullenbine, for coming on. Good luck to you in the future. And Bud Lynch, thank you for coming. Give us a hand on the show. We appreciate that.
Well, you've used that phrase, give me a hand.
Yeah, I could use that a lot, don't I?
Hey, Roy.
Okay, I want to say our sponsors on the program.
Switch it or no problem.
Al Dietrich Oldsmobile, where the runways end, the deals begin in the Pontiac Waterford area on M59. T-Com Pagers, Maxie's Main Street in the heart of downtown Royal Oak. Nino's Pizza with their extra, two great pizzas, one low price. Amantea's Restaurant, fine Italian and American cuisine on the corner of West Warren and Vinoy in Garden City. The Sting and the Old Playboy Club on John Lodge Expressway at Greenfield, and Dugan's Irish Pub in Royal Oak on Woodward, and Pro-Am Sports with their schedule available in this paper, Sports Fans Journal. If you want to subscribe to this paper, dial this number 24 hours a day for more information, 350-3530. When will Bob Page be back? Yeah, we'll get him out of the bar sometime. He should be back sometime next week. Thanks, guys, for coming on. Appreciate you tuning in to Sports Field. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, everybody.